Next up, we've got our Ecoflow 3, no less, coming back for a third year. What a gang this is. We've got here Tim Davis from ITV. Welcome, Tim. Right, there we go. Welcome, Tim. Ian Knock from IET. How you doing, Christian? Christian is with Humans Not Robots. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. And we've got Francoise here from Accelerator. Welcome, team. Have you got the clicker here? There's the clicker. Who's doing the slides? Okay. It's that white one there, okay? Just press that to go down and point it at the back of the room, okay?
Okay, good. Yes, yeah, we will. Okay, thanks. So I'm one of the big four of the Ecoflow project, or we're the steering group as we call it. And I pressed the button, honest. I am pointing it. There we go. Okay, so the problems we've been dealing with over around multiple generations of our Ecoflow project have been about measuring energy. And surprisingly enough, it's very difficult to measure energy consumption of end-to-end media workflows, except where you can get at it, mostly within the home. So that was a bit of a challenge, and that's what we discovered in our first year. In our second year, we adapted and looked to how we could use digital twins and a more variable quality data to get a picture of energy consumption and end-to-end workflows, and that was successful to a point. But the key thing with all of those, though, is that we recognise some key discoveries from that. We recognised key insights. We recognised that we had still quite a number of difficulties with doing that. We recognised that we also had a problem with the way that sustainability was looked at within the whole development of media workflows, and it was seen as a bolt-on, something you did afterwards. And we recognised very quickly and early on that actually sustainability has to be one part, one factor of the whole engineering design concept of performance, cost, price, and sustainability was added to that. And you have to do that right from the beginning. And so we've taken that forward into our concepts of understanding what is good energy usage and what is bad energy usage. And this is the controversial thing that we're looking to look at really hard, because we define good energy as where things are efficiently and effectively used, and we look at bad energy as where it's not. And there's a lot of those within every end-to-end workflow. So I'd like to hand over.
First time. So one of the main things that we've been trying to do last year was around data collection. This was one of the main challenges, banging the drums, banging the door at the broadcasters, at all the partners we have on the project. How can we get more data? How can we get energy data? Not going to happen, right? So we had to figure out a different way to emulate some of the data, and this is what we continue doing through a potential observability framework. The second thing we want to break this year, talking about getting this adopted by the broadcasters in the real world. The first year was about end-user devices, second year was a digital twin. Now this year we want this to be used, right? The clock is ticking, it's very important that we get to that point. So operationalizing this sort of project is very important to us. And what does success look like for us? Well, essentially being able to break the barriers of adoption, not only being able to prove that, yes, we can measure, we can look at efficiencies, but how do we go to an ITV or all the partners we have on the project and say, there's no barriers to adoption anymore. This is not impacting our roadmap. Yes, this is helping with cost, efficiency, performance, and so on. This is where we want to get.
Hey, press the clicker from. Yeah, thank you. We need clicker innovation for next year as well, please. So for Ecoflow 1, we looked at the consumer device and we tested to understand what experiments we could do to reduce the energy consumption on the device. For Ecoflow 2, we looked at the back office and the distribution workflows to understand if we could move towards multicast ABR or a peer-to-peer delivery mechanism and what effect that might have on energy consumption. As part of that, we built modeling as well. We want to build on and extend that for Ecoflow 3. And this means looking more closely to unify what's happening on the client device with the back end. If we can get the client to tell the server how it is dealing with its energy efficiency, we maybe can use content steering to navigate how that device receives content to further optimize how it utilizes energy. That all relies on a unification of that forecasting and nearcasting model in the digital twin. So using that and a sprinkle of AI, of course, to provide optimizations and ultimately to put that out into the market and provide an open observability framework that real people can use to factor further back into that.
The core group of us have been working together for the last 3 years. The skills we really need to take that and transform it are things that enable us to understand, to be able to monitor, to be able to measure, and to be able to standardize the reporting and to standardize the language we're using. Partners who can help us to generate and share data to enable that intelligence. And then partners who can help us to build, to test, and to validate, to really help us take it and move it forward. The impacts that we want to be able to measure are genuine, measurable, and validated strategies that organizations can take and can adopt, but also the KPIs and metrics that allow sustainability to be communicated and discussed in a similar vein as we have latency, performance, cost, and quality. The vision is the same as we've had for the last 3 years. It's about driving decarbonization and efficiency across the entire streaming supply chain. Thank you very much.